Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Soul Secure from MBT Studios, and today we are going over why I purchased a $10,000 DAC and whether you should spend your money on DACs or not. Now today we're gonna be going over $10,000 DACs versus few $100 DACs and under, and see what are the actual differences. Can you hear the difference, and should you spend money on DACs? But before we get into that, I have two very important messages for you guys. The first one is that we have a giveaway going on this channel because we just reached 3,000 subscribers. So thank you every one of you. So make sure to check out the description below for the links on how to enter the giveaway. And the second message is that we have a Patreon page up and running. So thank you every one of you that joined us recently. And by supporting us, we're not asking for your money for free. We have exclusive Patreon content coming and a monthly giveaway only for the Patreons when we reach 100 Patreons. Now, I've seen in forums and I've seen on Facebook groups people talking about how DACs don't matter. And whether you spend $100 on DACs or $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 on DACs, it really doesn't make a difference. And the claim goes something like this: you're converting zeros and ones into a waveform, essentially. So how difficult can that be? Why would you be spending so much money on DACs that are doing a simple job of converting zeros and ones into a waveform? Now, if you put it that way, your phones have a DAC inside, and it sounds like shit. So according to that logic, your phone should be just fine and you can connect your phone to your stereo system or high-end audio without any kind of downside, which is not true. And there's an audible difference between a phone DAC and a few $100 DAC that is built for audio. But where do you stop? Do you stop at $10,000, $100,000, zillion dollars? Where do you stop? And why does it cost so much money for the simple job of converting zeros and ones into a waveform? What is the $10,000 DACs doing differently from a few $100 DAC? Now, in my opinion, the features and connectivity and the ability to upsample and do MQA and all those formats contribute a lot to the price of the high-end DACs. So for example, is it a tube DAC? Can it switch from solid state to a tube DAC like the i5 Pro IDSD? And can it do MQA, which is arguably becoming popular these days? Or can it upsample to a higher bitrate or higher resolution? Or can it play DSD and all those formats? Now that's a big factor in expensive DACs. And that is actually the part of the reason why people look for expensive DACs, because they want to experience or play their files that are high resolution in the first place. Now, second is connectivity. Now, when it comes to expensive DACs, the chances are you're gonna find more connections available. USB, coax, optical, whatever it is, it gives you the flexibility of integrating into your system without a problem. However, when it comes to music lovers like you and myself, it really comes down to if we can hear the difference with our ears. And truth be told, you can hear the difference between a $10,000 DAC and an $800 DAC. And I believe the main difference in sound quality comes from the chips. Now, the DAC chips inside the DACs contribute a lot to the price factor. Now, DACs like these, the Meitner MA1 $10,000 DACs, has a DAC chip built by Ed Meitner himself. So it's not an off-the-shelf DAC. You can't go and buy it from a third party and put it inside your DIY DAC. These are actually made from scratch and designed by Ed Meitner. Not all, but a lot of the expensive DACs nowadays have a DAC that is built from scratch and where you cannot buy it from a third-party seller. Now, in comparison, the Audio GD uses the Sabre DAC, which is a third-party off-the-shelf DAC chip. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes into the DAC that I'm leaving out because there's so many stuff. But in my opinion, the main thing is the DAC chip and the power supply. I believe that power supply is really essential in any kind of unit. Headphone amplifiers, preamplifiers, it really doesn't matter. Now, keeping that in mind, the sound difference between the Meitner MA1 and the Audio GD is significant. In fact, I'm thinking of doing a headphone demo that I do on YouTube because I think you can hear the difference between the Audio GD and the MA1 easily with my headphone demos. Now, I'm not saying that the MA1 is better. In fact, I prefer the sound of the Audio GD myself. The reason I got the Meitner MA1 was because I respect Ed Meitner and I wanted to own a piece that he created. And also, as a reviewer, it is a reference piece because the sound signature of the MA1 is very, very neutral, very, very flat. Let me explain. The Audio GD has more bass, more oomph, has a little bit more warmth. In comparison, the MA1 has a lot of space around it. It is very, very spacious sounding, and the soundstage is much more open. However, it lacks in bass compared to the Audio GD. And both units are excellent sounding units. Don't get me wrong, but the difference is in the sound signature is very audible. Even through the demo, I can bet you that you can probably hear the difference. So let me know if you guys are interested in that demo in the comment section down below. And if there's enough interest, I will do the demo. Now, with that being said, should you spend so much money on DACs? That is really up to you. Just like headphones, just like preamplifiers, just like amplifiers, just like speakers, just like any component in audio, even though DACs are doing the very simple job of converting zeros and ones into a waveform, you need to hear it. Now, if you have no idea where to start and you have no idea what DAC to look for, I mean, there's so many choices. What do I do? Do not worry. Leave down in the comments below what kind of sound you're looking for and I'll help you out. There's other members that are very knowledgeable. They will help you out. But remember, the first place to start is your headphone, speaker, and your front end of your system. So make sure that is covered and you have what you're looking for before diving into the DACs you're looking for. So there you have it, guys. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if it was helpful to you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.